Okay guys, so I told you I'd see you on the other side. Look at the state of my hair now. So if I wasn't a mess before, I certainly am now. So I've just seen Lloyd, had my osteopathic appointment, just coming across the main road. Oh my gosh, I got tweaked and rolled around and prodded and poked and cranked and apparently I was still good. My body was nice and mobile, nothing was too tight. So God knows what it would have been like if I wasn't. Anyway, so how are you all? Talk to me. Whereabouts are you when you are watching me? Where are you in the world or in the country? Talk to me. Are you suffering with this incredibly hot weather, or are you loving every minute of it? As you can probably see from the colour of me, I'm not. I don't. It's an age thing, I think, really, as well. I want to look after my skin and everything, so I don't really want to be out in the sun all the time and get sun damaged. Although I do love a little bit of colour. Whereas if you saw my husband, oh my God, right? The colour of my husband at the moment is absolutely ridiculous. He looks like he spent a year abroad. To be fair to him, he is recovering from his knee replacement, so I guess we let him off. But he is just so brilliant, and he's a sun worshipper. He would literally lay out in the sun the whole time. He would literally, yeah, he loves it. So I'm trying to keep him company because obviously he's recovering from his knee replacement. But I can't just sit out in the garden with him and roast and sweat. So yeah, so I tend not to. So the main point I was going to say is, number one, as I asked you before I went in, because this is part 2 of the live this morning, have you ever seen an osteopath? What do you do to keep your body going? You know, so you know that I obviously try, and my nutrition is most of the time good. I'd say 80% of the time at least my nutrition is spot on. I just do have an incredibly sweet tooth, and I am definitely an emotional eater. I'm just one of those people, unfortunately. That's one of my downsides. But hey, do you know what I mean? We've all got these things. I'm only human. I do love a cake. And obviously I drink lots of water. You know, I exercise. So I exercise sort of 5 days a week. So I do all of that. But as I say, I come and see Lloyd about every 6 to 8 weeks. It's one of those things that I never used to do it, but as I'm getting older, I just think it's really important to make sure that everything is staying in alignment so that my body lasts longer. So that's something well worth doing. So it's worth investing in yourself. When I'm always talking to you about investing in your health, and I'm saying that, you know, I say to you about coming to join me, and I said the most obvious bit, and I talk about this, is my daily challenge group, the free one. You know, there's 1,900 members in there. That's a lot of people. But the actual amount of those people that actually will pay to come and do any of my classes is very minimal. I mean, when I first started doing the subscribers, the little thing that I do now, I've only just started that. So, you know, it's £3.49 a month. And I go live nearly every day. I coach the moves. So I really get into it so that whatever the issue somebody might have, they can do the move. And then as part of that subscription, I give a whole class every single month. And then somebody wrote on there in the free group, I can't afford that. And I'm like, you can't afford £3.49 a month? That's so untrue. You know, like me now, when I've just been to see Lloyd, that's 50 quid for half an hour. And sometimes I think, oh, I can't afford it, you know, I'm self-employed, but I can because I'm investing in my health and the longevity of my life and keeping my body working so I can hopefully do my job for a really, really long time. You know, it's no good. Yeah, I don't know what you think. So I'm rambling a little bit this morning because I'm just sort of musing with you with my thoughts. I do this a lot. I think, you know, if you're watching me, you'll either like me or you'll be like, oh, God, that woman's going on again. But I think it's nice to be able to talk, don't you, about things? Because, like I said, when you see people on Facebook, you see them on Instagram, everyone looks like they've got everything together. Their life is so together. And especially with someone like me, I'm a PT, a class instructor. You guys probably think, oh, it's really easy for Emma. But it's not. It isn't. You know, there's so much going on. Life's quite tough, isn't it? You know, like in my house, we're both self-employed. We're a self-employed household. Said my husband can't work at the moment because he's had his knee replacement. I've got my little chihuahuas who I absolutely love, my chihuahua family, but they're all getting older. I mean, I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds, even in the last 3 years, looking after my doggies. You know, there's no GoFundMe pages from me. I'm paying for my dogs myself, so I have to work a lot to look after them. You know, I'm an emotional eater. There's stress. There's all sorts of things going on. I mean, you're going to love this one. I'm going to tell you this. You know, when we talk about life throws you a curveball, So I think it's a year ago, my husband was working at his sister's house. My husband's a builder, but anyway, he was working at his sister's house. They had a lovely big fence around their house, and an uninsured driver had an accident and drove straight into their fence. So they needed it replaced. And while they were waiting to get that all done, the insurance, so my husband went over and was replacing it for his sister. Anyway, his can going in the garden, he'd gone down about, I think, this much, and he hit a main electrical line, right? And this was in the garden, so on the private property. Anyway, it was like the scene from Jaws. You know when Jaws, you've seen the Jaws films? When they try and kill it and it bites the electrical cable and all the flames come up, yeah? That would have been my husband. But lucky enough, the flames all came back. He managed to let go of the Kango and jump back. But obviously some of the volts went through him. So he had to go to hospital. Nobody knew how he hadn't died. Got fried alive in the front garden, which would have been obviously horrific. Anyway, so all this happened about a year ago, and then last week we got a letter through, from the electrical company trying to charge my husband £25,000 for the amount of work it was to repair the mains. Now bearing in mind he only went down that much, you imagine that could be just anybody in their garden with their garden fork just doing over their grass. That's what that could have been, and they could have hit that and been electrocuted and died. You know, I said to my husband, I went, this is really bad. These electric companies are worth billions and billions and billions of pounds. That has migrated onto private land, which is bad in itself. And then they're trying to charge him £25,000. So do you see what I mean? Life throws you curveballs all the time. And then when you're stressed and you're worried, people do different things. Some people go to alcohol. Some people go to drugs. Some people just eat themselves silly, you know, and it's just about finding coping mechanisms for life, really, isn't it? So when I'm talking to you and I'm giving you my musings, I guess I'm just talking to you about life, really. Because like I said, sometimes social media is great and other times it is pants, and you just think it makes you feel bad because everyone else seems so together and looks like they got their lives together. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking to you now. It's Fabulous Friday. Have a fantastic day. Do let me know where you are. Let me know how you're coping in this weather. And I hope you have a great weekend. Make sure if you are, it's currently hot where you are, drink lots of water, stay well hydrated, and don't forget your SPF. And let me know if you do see an osteopath regularly. And if you don't, maybe go and see one. It would be very interesting to see how you get on. Guys, have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for listening to me wittering on, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone. See you.